Calling all you first-time buyers. The rates just keep on going up and up and up, and the economists say it's going to be going up for a long time. But, like the saying says, what comes up must go down. So if you're there holding the fort, waiting to jump on the property ladder, but you want to wait, what to do in the meantime? If you're anything like me, you like to keep yourself busy and like to know that you're working towards the goal, even if you can't achieve the goal right now. So it's more a case of when am I going to buy, not if I'm going to buy. Hi, my name's Manda Walker and I'm the mortgage coach. And today I'm going to give you some tips for when you're trying to get mortgage ready. Now, the first tip is, what can you afford right now? It's a brilliant thing to start off with looking at, based on your current salary and your current expenses, use a mortgage calculator on any of the mortgage websites, and then you can find out what you can afford. Then take off either calculate 5 or 10% of it and see if you've got that as a deposit. That is your saving goal. Next, look at when you think you'll buy. Will it be in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Based on that, what do you think your salary is going to be? Put that in the calculator and then see what you can afford at that point. And then again, look at the 5 or 10% deposit, and that will be your future saving goal. The next thing I would look at is, what are your current expenses? Can they be reduced? Can you save a little bit more? What are the different ways of saving a deposit? Are there different savings accounts? Are there other ways to save a deposit? You can research all of that. The next thing I would look at is, what do your bank statements look like? Now, they will want to see the last 3 months. They will also want to see the last 3 months payslips and things like that. So depending on when you think you're going to be buying, they need to look presentable. So they don't like gambling, they don't like high transfers going back and forth, they don't like things that could be construed as money laundering or a lot of cash transactions, that kind of thing they don't like. So clean up your bank statements now and get into the habit of having well-presented bank statements. If you've got loads of current accounts open, reduce them. If you've got loads of subscriptions that you don't use anymore, reduce them. Think about, if someone else was looking at your documents, what would they see? The other thing is looking at your payslips. Now, if you have high deductions for pensions or high deductions for student loans, work on that now while you've got time. And then when you become closer to your buying date, you can look at possibly reducing those deductions, even if it's temporarily, just so your net income is as high as it possibly can be. The next thing I'd look at is your credit file. Now, you don't want to have any missed payments, any arrears, which are late payments. You don't want to have any defaults. You don't want to have anything like that. So if you're having trouble paying off your credit card, just reduce how much you pay, because you only have to pay 10% of your credit card per month. It's better to put down and be paying off 10% than put down and say you'll be willing to pay off 25% or £250 or whatever it is, and then you can't afford to pay that. So just show that you can make regular payments on your credit card, because at the end of the day, when it looks at affordability, it looks at about 3% of the balance. Loans, it's a different story. HP, even more of a different story. So with loans, and I mean personal loans, work at paying those off completely. Work out, if you're you want to buy in 2 years' time, divide what the balance is by 24. Contact the loan company and say, can I make overpayments? And work out, if it's divided by 24 and how much you normally pay as an instalment and how much extra you have to pay per month in order to do it. That's the next thing. And then hire purchases. Don't do it. For now, don't buy the most expensive car and then say, oh, it's only car finance. It really does affect your credit, and it will for the next 6 years. So I would say just buy a runaround And if you're working from home the majority of the time, you don't really use the car that much. Assess whether you even need a car. I mean, you can hire a car, or you can get a zip car or something like that for a couple of hours as and when you need it. Or you can Uber, or you can get public transport. So there are so many different ways. But I think the main goals while you're getting mortgage ready are: one, save, save, save. Two, get your budget in order. Get used to reducing what you spend every month, and obviously that will go on savings for now, but once you get the mortgage you need to be able to afford to pay it month on month on month. So look at that. Look at, as I said, your bank statements. Make sure they're presented well. Look at your credit report. Make sure that is the best it can be. So we talked about payments and how to manage those. The next thing is make sure you're registered on the electoral roll. Make sure all your addresses are the right addresses, and you're not linked to any different financial affiliates or anything like that. So make sure it's clean and tidy, and do as much research as you can about the buying process so you understand how it all works. So when the interest rates do come into a reasonable amount that you can afford, and do that homework as well. Either speak to a mortgage advisor or do it by yourself if that's if you're a numbers person. And then what you can do is you could say, okay, if the interest rate is X, then I can afford it. If the interest rate is not, then I can't afford it. So think about, look at what can be done and track it with your, what I like to do is have a spreadsheet, and I track my deposit, I track what my salary is going to be, and I track it all, and I do this all as a program for my clients. But you can do it yourself as well, and you can track all of this information, and then that way you know at what point, at what interest point, or at what point, 2 years, 3 years, especially if you've got a career that you know, like for instance, when I jumped on the property ladder, I was a part qualified accountant, so I knew within sort of 18 months I'd be qualified, or however long it takes you to pass those exams. Then okay, well then roughly my salary will be this. So at the end of the day, just plot things out and have a plan. Don't just sit idly and think, because a lot of people do this. They think, buying a property, it's an impossible goal, it's miles away, I'm just going to spend the little money I've got. Don't do that. Or worse, a lot of my friends bought really nice cars when they graduated from uni, rather than just save up for a deposit and buy a house and get the car later on. At the end of the day, set the goal and have a plan and make a budget, and then say, okay, each month I'm going to save X amount, even if it takes a couple of years. Join something like a community of like-minded people that are all working at that same goal. That's why my Get Mortgage Ready membership is so popular, the Get Mortgage Ready Club, which I'll put in the link, because yes, I educate you around how to buy, yes, I educate you around how to save a deposit and all this stuff we've talked about previously, but there's also a community, so you can talk to each other, motivate each other, and obviously I'm there as well in order to give you any advice or tips along the way. So if you can't get a property or get on the property ladder now, get mortgage ready now. Thank you.